What's up, Anchor listeners for the Common Sense Show TV? What's going on, man? Listen, real quick, I just want to ask you a question. Have any of you ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to start this podcast, get it off the ground, I've been on Anchor for a couple of years now. I had a lot of questions about it. How do I record an episode? How do I get my podcast on Apple Music and Spotify and Google and all that good stuff? And how do I make money from it? So the answer to every one of those questions that I asked myself was simply this particular platform at Anchor.fm. Now, Anchor, you can do everything here, one stop for recording, hosting, and distributing all of your podcasts because you don't have to really go through a middleman. It's all done right here on Anchor. Best of all, it's 100% free, you guys, and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor is going to match you with great sponsors so you can get paid to podcast. So eventually, I'm going to get paid to do this. I tell you. Now, I use Anchor simply because I broadcast the Common Sense Show TV right here on Anchor, and I distribute that through Apple, iTunes, Spotify, Google, Castbox, Radio Public, right here on the internet. So if you guys want to start a podcast, make money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start. To join me and other podcasters on Anchor and this diverse community of podcasters already using this particular platform. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. What's going on? Happy Tuesday, you guys listening to my podcast on all of my platforms, Apple Music, Radio Public, Castbox, all of that on Android. Listen, man, welcome to episode 2 of the Common Sense Show TV on Anchor. Man, today has been a great day. Listen, I started keto a couple of days ago because I cheated on my diet. So don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I did. I started keto a couple days ago, and I actually decided to stick with it, drink a whole bunch of water, and stay out of the sugar and the sweets and the carbs and all that good stuff. And I actually lost 3 pounds in one day, which is crazy. I'm pretty sure it's some kind of water weight or whatever. But hey, 3 pounds is 3 pounds. You know what I'm talking about? So I'm excited about losing 3 pounds. But anyway, on today's episode of the Common Sense Show TV, we're going to go through a few things. One, I'm going to do some shout outs real quick to every single person who is listening to this broadcast right now, whether it's on any platform, Apple or Android. Thank you for absolutely listening to this broadcast. I really appreciate it. The Common Sense Show is my baby, has been around for a long time. I just wasn't really consistent with it, but now I'm trying to be. And this year, I decided that I was going to make the Common Sense Show TV a concern, a viable concern for me. So there is a website that I do have. I do maintain that website. I haven't updated it in a while. I should, but it is the CommonSenseShowTV.com. That is on my personal website. It gives a little bit of information about me, how you can get in contact with me, a little bit of my background, all that, my family, the whole 9 yards. You can also catch me on Facebook, facebook.com/the Common Sense Show TV page. That's PAGE. If you don't put the page in there, I promise you won't get me. It's going to make you mad. All right. So the facebook.com/the Common Sense Show TV page. Also, I run with the Perry Dudes on Periscope. So if you guys are on Periscope, you can follow me there at Perry Dudes. If you follow me on Periscope as well or Twitter, I will be using the Common Sense Show TV Periscope handle. Hooray! It's going to be that at Use Common Sense 5. That's USECOMMONSENSE 5. Use Common Sense 5. That is the Twitter handle or Periscope handle for my or for the Common Sense Show TV page. Okay, so now that I have all of those out of the way, okay, what we're going to do, I'll go right into our topic. Now, the topic for today is get out of your feelings. Get out of your feelings. And the reason why this episode is important, because there are so many people who are walking around that are upset and mad and in their feelings over some stuff that happened to them prior. They're mad at their mama, they're mad at their daddy, they're mad at their boyfriend, ex-husband, girlfriend, their hook on the street, whatever. But you're mad, right? So this is what I'm going to tell you. And in order for us to get to a next place in our life, we are going to have to cut some people off. We're going to have to cut some things off. And one of those things is our personal emotions. Get out of your feelings, you guys. Listen. Emotions never got you anywhere but either in the grave or down the aisle. Well, it could be the same depending on who you ask. But nonetheless, get out of your feelings. Why are you still harboring feelings and ill will and resentment towards somebody who hurt you 10 years ago? Get out of that. It's over. It makes no sense for you to continue to be mad at somebody who made you mad 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, 6 months ago, 10 minutes ago. It doesn't really make a difference. It does not stop. Just plain old stop. Now, one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to write a book, and with the help of Anthony Walker, AD Helps on Facebook, and AD Helps on across the social media. He was inboxing this morning, and he was like, "Terry, man, you should really, really write a book. You should really write a book." In my last episode, if you listened to Welcome Back, my first episode yesterday, I was talking about I had a book idea called The Knucklehead Chronicles. The Knucklehead Chronicles is just a detailed journey of my life and where I came from, where the issues started, how I had to do my work, and how I got to where I got to, or where I am right now in my life. Some of those parts are difficult. It's hard. It's hard to talk about old stuff. It's hard to talk about disappointment that you got from your mother. It's hard just to talk about, to look in the mirror and say, man, I was such a hoe. Man, I was such a liar and a manipulator. I hurt so many people in my wake that I can't even keep count anymore. When I was doing my progression, when I was doing my work and going back and saying, I have to ask these people to forgive me. The people that I've hurt, the people that I've tore down and cheated on, manipulated, I had to go back and I had to ask these folks to forgive me. Do you have any idea how hard that is? After you've done somebody dirty and thought you got away with it, you know how hard it is to go back and say, you know what? Can you please forgive me for the hurt that I caused you? And as us as humans, one of the first things that we're going to do is, okay, and the person says, I forgive you, right? But as a human, the first thing we're going to think of, did they really forgive me? Let me be real clear. Let me be really clear here and tell you guys, it doesn't matter whether or not they forgive you. It does not matter whether or not they forgive you. Your job is to ask for the forgiveness. And when you go to them, be earnest with your forgiveness, for your request. Earnestly ask for forgiveness and move on. Get that blood off your hands. It's no time, I'm not finna sit here and be upset whether or not you forgave me. And that's the problem with most people, is that they go to someone, they ask for forgiveness, or they hurt somebody, and they're living in guilt. That's an emotion. That's a feeling. Get out of that. And then if you have gone and asked someone for forgiveness and they didn't either answer you, or they gave you a raggedy, I forgive you, it bothers people. And some people will take that to the grave. Like, I wonder if Sally forgave me. I wonder if Bruce forgave me. Man, who cares? Who cares whether or not you forgave Bruce or Bruce forgave you or Sally forgave you? Who cares? Your job is to make your peace, progress, and move on. Whether they forgive you or not, doesn't matter. Get out of your feelings about it. So many of us are just walking. If you think about it just for a second, how many of us are actually walking in emotion? Take a step back, close your eyes just for a second. You ain't got to be all deep and mystical with it, but close your eyes just for a second and think to yourself, how many of us are walking around with emotion or in emotion? How many of us are truly free? Truly free being, I forgive that person. I have asked for my forgiveness. I have moved on in my life. How many of us can truly say that we're free? Because if you're free, you don't dabble in emotion. Emotions are a thing of the past for you. I mean, emotions, don't get it wrong. Emotions are good. Feelings are a different thing. I know, Jerry, what are you talking about? Emotions are different. Feelings are something else. Feelings, when you have feelings of inadequacy, or when you have feelings of resentment, or when you have feelings, because those are feelings. Emotions are happy, joy, sadness, all that. Those are emotions. Just in case you guys are wondering what I'm talking about here, emotions are a little different. Emotions are things happy, joy, peaceful, whatever. That's emotions. Feelings of inadequacy, feeling like I wasn't good enough, feeling I wasn't this or that. Listen, get out of your feelings. Because first of all, you know that you're good enough. Those of you who are listening, you know that you can write that book. You know that you're destined to do something in the ministry. You know that you're destined to be an entrepreneur. You know that you're destined to do something great in this life, but because of your fear and the fact that you are still holding on to emotions and feelings, you're missing it. Let's stay focused in our personal life. Get out of your feelings. I will say it slow so you can hear what I'm saying to you. Get out of your feelings. It means you no good. It's okay to be emotional about something. It's okay to feel something. But what you cannot do in this life or the next is stay there. Like I said in a podcast or in a live a couple days ago on Facebook, is that if someone can come to you and say something about your past and it upsets you to the point where you can't function, you are not over it. You are still dealing with your feelings. You are still dealing with your feelings. And what you have to do is to get out of those, because you can't overcome whatever it was they're talking about. You will never be able to overcome your past if you're still stuck in your feelings. I hope that I'm helping somebody. I hope somebody's watching this and saying, Terry's making pretty good sense right now. Real talk. He's making really good sense. Listen to me, y'all. Get out of your feelings. Feelings never hurt nobody or never helped anybody. You've been trapped by your feelings. You've been ruled by your feelings. You have missed many a blessing because of your feelings. Get out of your feelings. It's so, like I said, it's okay to stay it's okay to be emotional. But it's not okay to live emotional. You can't live that way, because when you're living in your emotion, you can't function from one day to the next. If we really relied on strictly our emotions and feelings, man, half of us wouldn't get out to bed in the morning. I'm just saying. Let's be mindful of our feelings. And if you have any ill will, if you're listening to this, and thank you again for listening, if you're listening to this and you are in your emotions, if you are in your feelings about something or somebody, you got two options. You either can sit there and let it worry you or break you down, or you can get out of your feelings and let that stuff go and grow. My brother, Felix Anderson, says all the time in his live scopes, YouTube videos, let it go and grow. Let those feelings go and grow. If you have a story to tell, if you've been hurt, if you've been broken, and you feel like you can help someone else, tell your story. Put it out there. If you're not a live streamer, that's cool. Some of us aren't built for video. I'm not the prettiest dude on the planet, but I can promise you this, I'll throw in a live in a minute and a scope in a minute. If you're an introvert and if you don't want to do video, do podcasting just like we're doing here. There are so many different platforms where you can use just your voice to tell your story. You have Anchor. I'm actually doing this podcast through Adobe Audition, which I'm pretty stoked about. There's so many different platforms. You have Spreaker. There's so many different platforms. But tell your story. And here's the reason why I say tell your story. Because there is someone out there waiting to listen. There is someone who is still in the dumps, but waiting for a word from you. There is a platform here for you. It really is. It's a platform here for you. So we need to make sure that we are being vessels. In order to be a vessel, though, you have to get out of your feelings. You cannot harbor feelings when doing this thing called podcasting, live streaming, giving advice, life coaching, or whatever. Because if you're doing any of that, you have to remain impartial. You have to remain impartial. So my advice again today on this broadcast, episode 2 of the Common Sense Show TV, get out of your feelings. It doesn't serve you any purpose. Especially because your feelings will most of the time be negative, and it's not helping anybody. It's not. So get out of your feelings, progress, and grow. That's what we do. Progress and grow. Until next time, and that'll be tomorrow on episode 3 of the Common Sense Show TV. Thank you for listening today. I really do appreciate it. If you, this audio will be on Anchor.fm. Go ahead and support the broadcast if you so wish. Be a subscriber of this podcast because I'm going to come with something every single day. On Mondays and Tuesdays. I was going to do it on Mondays and Tuesdays. But I decided I'm going to do a podcast every single day. Why? Because I feel like I have something to say. I feel like I can help someone else. So this is what I'm going to do every single day. All right. You guys have been awesome, awesome, awesome. Know that you're awesome. Know that you're great. Please be mindful of who you are. Don't forget it. Ladies, if you got on a crown, adjust it. Sometimes we get a little bit out of whack. It's hard. Guys, fellas, same thing. We need to take our crowns and adjust them. Let's get back together. Let's get it back right. We got people that are waiting for us to get it together. Until next time, remember that common sense ain't always common. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you, or you'll hear me next time. Peace.